complaint that came to the department did not come from the intern. It came from concerned female workers at Ehlanzeni who asked you to investigate because they felt that your employee, who is a senior manager in an institution, used his position, one of the allegations, used his position to seek sexual favors from an intern. That was the complaint that went to the department. It was not an intern writing to you.
You see, as you are indicating that the complaint came from an email that you are referring to. Of course, when the investigation commenced, leads suggested the particular official who was an intern. Interview was conducted with her, but the information at my disposal suggests to say that the intern that was referred to in the email was no longer interested to pursue the matter. Okay. So the name of the concerned students were not there to interview them, but leads upon getting that, it shows that this intern is the one that was alleged to be harassed by my colleague, then the investigation conducted. So unfortunately, we work on facts when it comes to this, because factually it might be there, but we cannot force someone to say something which he is no longer willing to do it in terms of the investigation. So that's a bit of a challenge. It's not an isolated incident. There are incidents like that.
What is your policy saying about your managers or dating policy? Do you have a dating policy in the department?
I'm not too sure. I don't recall about the dating policy, to be honest.
Because
I need to do further research with regard to that.
Because if I was the one who received a complaint like this, the first thing I would have done is to look at the purported conduct of my employee, who is a senior manager in HR, who, by the way, I think I must be, principal, a better investigator than you guys, because I can even tell you that this, what do you call, intern was threatened by this Mr. Good, who threatened to pursue her legally if she leaks the pictures that he had sent to her of his private parts. A senior person taking advantage of his position against an intern. I'm not hearing what you guys are saying. Let me tell you, what does this mean? When a person of that authority makes an advance on a young girl like an intern, this young girl, when they agree, they do so under duress. Or they literally can't say no to these people because of the position and the power they hold. And that is why I asked about the dating policy, because I'm sure it's there in the department that it must say you can't. Imagine a lecturer asking a student out. How is she going to say no? She won't. She will say yes under duress, not that she wants to. And the department gets a complaint. And the department says, no, the alleged victim, did not want to cooperate any further. How was she going to, when she's threatened that I'm going to, I'm going to strip you naked. And the department should and must defend. You know, Principal, earlier on, we made passing comments about why we have such huge numbers of underreported sexual harassment and GBV cases. And this is why. Because somebody gets the courage. An intern, by the way, Principal, you are saying she was no longer with you. She was not going to be with you because on the messages that Nkuna sent, said to her she must visit him over that weekend. And if she does not come, her internship is not going to be renewed. And it was not renewed. So she was no longer in your space because this guy used his power as an HR assistant director or manager not to renew her. And I don't know how many were not renewed because of this thing. So there was no way that your process principal would have said she's part of. Because on the messages themselves, he threatens her, tells her. There was a point in the messages where he asks, do you want me or do you want this thing of being an intern? And then she says, no, both. You can tell Roshim, Skep said, she has no choice. There's this person that we're keeping in our institutions who are taking advantage of young women. Positions is a government. And we're defending them, taking advantage. Some of us have got daughters. So tomorrow, if we don't stop this thing, they are going to happen to our own daughters. She has parents. Rona, we use the positions we have to defend monsters, pedophiles, people who take advantage of young people just because of their financial situation. Whenever we extending internship, or no, you must sleep with me. And if you don't, I'm not extending you. And it has happened. She was not extended. Skolo, quiet. Department, quiet. What is the Skolo Siri? This child, this intern was no longer with us. So we could not prove. How was she going to be there? Because for her to be there, it means she had to sleep with this guy. Because she did not do it, now she's out. Department, I don't know, the alleged victim was not willing to participate. But we don't look at the conduct of this person of ours. We can't look at this monster in our institution or monsters in our institutions because they're probably part of the dominant faction in charge. They're part of those who are in charge of the institution. And then if you don't toe the line there, you're going to the streets. She has suffered that fate. You wanted to say something that will come on before I give Honorable Lonzo.
No, Chair, I cannot falter you anymore, but safe to say that case is a case according to the evidence presented too. Maybe I will invite Chair to share all those messages with me through Mr. Anele, so that I will look into those messages because seeming you suggest that maybe there's more information. Then we'll take there, but all what we should know, when we deal with the cases, there must be someone who's going to tender evidence against the alleged perpetrator. But then, seemingly, we will look into the new evidence that you're telling us in terms of, especially with regard to the threats in a form of WhatsApp, whereby the contract will not be renewed on the basis of not willing to cooperate with advances by my colleague. That's what I can tell you, Chair.
The department does not have anonymous hotline where people can report wrongdoing and the department investigates. You don't have that such.
There is a hotline that resides
And then
to...
in that case, because you don't have somebody who will come forward, what do you do?
It's not managed by my directorate. It's managed by the ethics branch, the hotline.
Yes.
So,
This letter was written to ethics.
so the ethics then conduct an investigation and share with us if there's a case. If there's no case, then we will not able to know about it.
Yeah, then it means if this case then died so early on the basis that the alleged victim was no longer willing to participate and it died when they were not complainants to begin with. It was an anonymous thing. So it means I have a problem with this division because they should have at least looked at what is before them and objectively, and looking at what is before us objectively, I would have said, okay, we don't have a victim who is willing to come forward. They are not saying, that thing did not happen. They're saying we're not part of those things because they're probably for their mental health. This person allegedly wanted to sleep with her. She refused, she lost her job. She's probably going through a mental situation because the whole world is against her. She does not want to do anything with something that will remind her of that thing. But that does not mean we don't look at the conduct of our employee. Because this person says, I have not, she says, yes, those things happened, or I don't want to be part of it. You could have said, there is this allegation that when you send this young girl notes, and our it's only view once. At least the CIC was asking about whether you can retrieve view ones. At least they are not actually view ones. No, they by ad hoc. He did ask. Now this guy sends everything, then threatens legal things. But it's okay. We'll have a conversation because I'm worried that there may be even more cases that just die at an infantry stage because how we approach matters. Because this is an ethical matter. A teacher, principal, you can't date a student. Kirali, your support staff. How we share that principal? It's no longer on the, the playing field is not level. It's the principal versus somebody junior. And they know, if they say no to the principal, it might be the end of their employment. If deputy principal, finance, Ushela staff, it's not playing field. The playing field is not normal. So there must be a policy that says, lecturer and students. It's not the same, the playing field is not the same. Because, but maybe we'll have a proper discussion with the department because I know Council for Gender Equity has some frameworks on what should happen. I remember when we had an inquiry in 2021, the fitness to hold office in the portfolio committee, fitness to hold office of, in 2020, of Professor Mbat. We did look at, because there were allegations that the Vice Chancellor was dating the Deputy Vice Chancellor, then the relationship turned sour and they fought. There were allegations that said something like this. I know we did bring Council for Gender Equity to help us with the policy framework on what must and must not happen in the workplace. And that was part of those particular things. Mamfuchan, you wanted to say something? Jube, Mike.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I'm covered by your last comments because the issue here is on the principle. And the issue here, let's take maybe even the best case scenario. This is a worst case scenario, it's not, but let's take a best case scenario, even if the intern was agreeable on ethics and principle is incorrect because the power dynamics are not the same. And such should not even take place. And then it's only the government, the department's and the college's policies that can protect such interns and students. And lastly, I want to indicate that this is twofold. I've checked now with the chief director responsible for ethics on this policy. We may have, we may not have, I don't know. But I've requested him to check. But in the event that we have, the college itself needs to have, because college policies are adopted by council. So I'm not sure if the college would have such a policy in place. But if not, it is a huge gap which the department and the college would need to fill. Thank you very much, Honorable Chair.